Hello everybody, OK Fixer here. Beautiful day in Oklaskokla, and I want to talk to you about some things. And I said that I wasn't going to do any more videos. I had a friend of mine come over the other day, and we worked on his car, and he said, you know, I understand your plight. And he said, you know what you ought to do? And I said, what's that? Use them. Remember this one? 67 is still alive. My summer car. And I had to kind of put it in my little hoop house, paint house, because I got too many cars. This is just made out of pipe and a big tarp on it. Oh, a battery light. Great. Okay. Let me get this charged. So anyways, I decided, you know, I think I'll come back. If not for anything, for my grandchildren, so they can see what Granddad was up to. Alright. This is one of my oh, a telephone call. Why? Of course. One of the endless telephone calls I get all day long trying to sell me whatever. Anyways, this is one of my recent purchases. It has some redeeming values going for it, although right now I can't really think of any. But no, it was cheap. It has a lot of original parts. It hasn't been taken all apart and stripped. It had an engine and has a title. So, you know, a title for cars, they just don't have that here. But roached is, you know, is kind of light for this car. So anyways, that one has seen some salt, I think. So let's have a look at another one inside. Well, welcome to my garage. That car was a 70, and I paid, that had an engine with it and all the parts and hadn't been stripped. And it was $500. The engine that came with it was a pretty nice engine, although it's not a B case engine. It's an H5 case engine. But I made it run, and we'll look at that later. This was a $150 car. But the tweakers had stripped it and then caught it on fire. So it's real bad. I did put floor pans in it, sort of. The body's just laying on the top. It needs everything. However, I do have all the bits and bobs that need to go for it, or go to it. But this is just a couple of cars that I have purchased, and we'll do some work on these in the future. So now I have 4 of these cars. Okay, back to the real meat. The real meat of this video is going to be the 69. And the 69 has got an oil leak. So I got to find out where it's coming from. And the oil is pooling up, kind of, not really pooling up, but it's kind of dripping off the intake and this fan shroud, or this fan, not fan shroud, but the cylinder head cover, and kind of pooling down here. And I thought it was the switch, oil switch, but I replaced it. It was leaking. Probably 2 different problems, but with a new one, I replaced it with a new one. So that stopped that leak, but there's still a leak there. So we're going to have to fix that. And I thought about this. I just had a shoulder replaced about 5 weeks ago, so I'm not really, I don't want to get underneath this and do too much tugging or pulling. But I was thinking about doing is, I want to see if I can do it, is pull the deck lid off and the hinges, and it's a lot easier to work at the top, and see if I can't pull, because I'm going to have to look, I suspect it's my oil cooler, so I'm going to have to pull that fan shroud off there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to attempt it and see if I can, and if I can't, well, you know, I'll pull the engine out of it. But that's where we are there. So let's get started. This is my winter driver, the 69, and I really need to fix that oil leak so I can drive it and not worry about things. So let's get after this, and we'll start taking things apart. Okay, I'm excited. You? Hey, Grandpoop, isn't that a socket wrench? Much as we are not a democracy, as the Hollywood types would make you believe, we are instead a constitutional republic, and we adhere to the law, a constitution. Tools are also called certain things, and they certainly are not socket wrenches. So when you hear that next time on a Hollywood movie, turn it off. It just frustrates me. I spent a semester in school identifying tools. So let's go through these. Maya Vanuk. To your right is a screwdriver. It's just not any screwdriver though. This would be a flat screwdriver or a straight slot screwdriver, and size and width would determine the rest of the description. 3/8 width, you know, not really big, medium, sort of, kind of a thing. Screwdrivers are kind of, they also have a cross at the end too, and it's not a cross or a Christie. What it is a Phillips, or it could be Reed and Prince, or it could be several others too. This is not a socket wrench. This is a ratchet. This is, more importantly, a 3/8 ratchet, and size would denote 10-inch 3/8 snap-on ratchet. Same here. This is a ratchet as well, only it's 1/4 inch. 5-inch. These are not dikes. These are diagonal cutters. These are not wire cutters. These are diagonal cutters. They all have names. Okay, let's get back to the task at hand. Well, let's get up underneath here. It's going to kind of be nice working on this, because it's not a Charlie Foxtrot of mismatched gizmos and thingamajigs that are welded on by years and years and years of, instead it's a relatively new engine, and it's going to come apart easy, and the parts are going to come off easy. And all the bolts have washers under them and that sort of thing, so it's going to be sweet working on this. First thing that we're going to need to do is disconnect our wires, and I have quick connects for those, so we can do that. Take our wires down like that so our deck lid will come off. I'm going to take our deck lid off here with these 10mm bolts. Probably have to take my air cleaner off first. There's a big spring underneath here, which is fancy and lovely. And how you got to get this back on is you put one bolt in, and you fold the whole thing this way, and then you have your wife hold on to it while you work the spring in there and that kind of thing. So this is going to take 2 people to do with my busted wing. So be patient with me. We're taking our 5-inch, 1/4 inch drive ratchet, our 5-inch extension, and our deep well 6-point 10mm hand socket. And loosening the 10mm head right there. Now, you get up underneath a car and somebody's handing you tools or somebody's asking for a tool. Wouldn't it be cool to lay that mess on them, just as I said, and get what you want? That's why. That up there. Not spilling my oil out of it. Okay, what's next? Let's see. Let's work on this deck lid here. Let's see what we got here. What we got? This looks very dangerous. I think I can probably get that off there with a pair of pliers. So we're going to take our 20-inch channel locks. Give that a little squeeze and oh my God! She's gonna blow, Captain! Let's see what happens. Let's see. Yeah. Just a little more. Yeah, I knew that would happen. Now, got the spring off there. Now I can prop that up so it doesn't bust me one. And I can take those hinges off. Like, probably start just doing it right like I can. Oh. Let's do something first before we do that. I'll show you. Now, why would I do something like that for? Well, it's easy. So you take the nuts out, you know exactly, or the bolts out, you know exactly where they go back in. See? Because they're all marked. Yeah, you got a little paint on things. And yeah, well, it's all right. It's fine. Also going to do those up underneath there. So I get everything lined up right. See? Okay, we have our deck lid off. And something slapped me upside the head real hard. And I'll zoom in here and see if you can see it. Remember, we have an oil leak. Okay, we have an oil leak. All right, and the oil's in the engine. Okay, so just think about gravity. Okay, think about gravity. I'm gonna zoom into something here. Let you see this. How would we get oil way up here? How? There can't anything be slinging it anywhere. Go ahead. Put your comments in the bottom. Tell me. I know. Let's see if you know. Okay. You done? Done putting your comments in? Okay. I think because we have oil on the bottom of our intake a little bit. See our oil on the bottom of our intake? How's that going to get slung up there? Well, it's not. It's leaking out of the air cleaner, which is good. It means they don't have to go very far. It's not too bad of a leak. So we're going to need to take and examine our air cleaner. That's good. That's really good. Let's examine our air cleaner and see. I probably have it overfilled. But see, that's the whole thing about this. It's never what you think it might be. There's always a wrench in the equation. It's kind of funny. Kind of funny like that, huh? Well, I'm pretty happy because if it is that, then I don't have to take this thing apart. It's not the oil cooler leaking. Which I took so many careful steps to make it absolutely, so when stuff like that goes south, you're like, what what did I do? What did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this? All right, let's have a look at this air cleaner up here and see what we got going on. It does have train. It does have oil at the bottom of this. So does it have a leak? Is there a rotted hole through it? Did I overfill it? I don't know. Yeah, I have to put this down. Well, I would guess in my haste I overfilled it. That looks like it has too much in it. But see this right here? This is like a little vent kind of a thing. Got another one right here. And you know, you move the car back and forth and it's too much over that lip right there. And oh, no bueno. We're gonna have a leak like that. So yeah, you know, you take off and the oil kind of sloshes around and stuff like that. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, let's check the book and see what it says on the left. All right, it says clean thoroughly and filled to the mark. The mark with 0.95 pint of fresh engine oil, 30 weight. So I don't know where the mark is. I'm going to dump this out and have a closer look and see exactly what's going on. But I'm jazzed that this is the problem and it's not something savage like an oil cooler. For those of you that don't have oil bath air filters and would rather use one of those paper jobs that when it gets wet passes about as much air as a can of peaches on your car, and you say that these things don't work, they do. Check out all the crap it's trapped. And now I only have about 500 miles on this car since I rebuilt it. But look at all the crap, and I distinctly remember cleaning this all out. Anyways, our oil line is, see this little ledge right here? It has to be underneath this ledge. Has to be underneath this ledge. Let's measure out half a pint or 0.95 of a pint. That's a pint is 16 ounces, so it's going to be a little less than 16 ounces. And we'll pour it in there and see what we get. I think even 16 ounces might be too much. Okay, we've got our nice, big, fat can of gas. And save your gas because you can put it in bottles, and it's good to have big bottles of used gasoline in your garage so that when your house catches fire, it really goes up in a it's better for your insurance payout, essentially. So we're going to clean this out. I'm joking, of course. We're going to clean this out, all right? And should clean up pretty easy because it really wasn't that bad, and I cleaned it out before. But I do save my my gas that I wash things out with. It kind of settles to the bottom. You can pour almost all of it out, and then pour a little bit back in there and swish it out. Dump it, and it's great solvent. Gas used for solvent. You know, kerosene's probably better. I understand the fire hazard and whatnot like that. So, but I'm very careful with that around there anyway. So we're going to wash this out, and we'll fill it up and see what we get. Okay, remember there was quite a bit of oil left back in here. There's still quite a bit left in here, and I know this bottle is a half-liter bottle, which is 16.9 ounces, and they're asking for 0.95 of an ounce. So that's a little bit less than that. So let's see what it says. I didn't want to use my ratio right cup because I'm not going to pour a bunch of dirty oil into it. And it's not necessarily dirty. It's just let's see how much I want to put in there. Yeah, I'm not putting any more than that in there. That's enough. maybe a drip more. Maybe a little bit more. That's enough. That's enough. It covers that pretty good. It's not flowing all over the place. It's just that, yeah, that ought to do it. I think probably I had it way over full. And these little marks right here, these little slots, as you can see, one here and then one here also. The oil come up and over, and it'll leak out the bottom, drip out kind of a little bit. So we're going to keep with that. And let's put this all back together, and we'll put our deck lid on and clean things up. Should work, should be okay. Alright, I managed to get this back on with the help of the lovely and talented Elena. So my little marks there with the white spray paint paid off. They work pretty good. I don't know what I'm going to have to do with this. I think I'm going to jam it in one end and then use my pliers to get it in another. And it looks like somebody smeared Vaseline all over my lens. So let me see if I can't fix that, or see if it needs fixed. There we go. That seems to be a bit better. Like somebody rubbed their greasy chicken fingers all over it. All right, let's get the bolts in there, and I'm going to try my best way to get that all together, so it should be good. I'm really jazzed that was what's wrong with this. And it didn't have to go so deep. Wow. That was a close call. Yeah, I found it much easier just to stick one end to that. You can't see anything, can you? And just kind of slip that in there. It's quite a bit easier than that canted sideways thing I seen on YouTube. Okay. Well, there you go. Usually everything that goes wrong with these cars is human error. So, you know, we're only meat bags. What can you expect? And that's what it was. You just never know until you get in there. Okay. Well, probably the next video I'm going to address is the wild gas shenanigans I'm having here. I bought the kit from Wolfsburg West to fix this, and I don't like it. I think I'm going to come up with something else, something that eliminates this. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I think the hose that they sold me was too short, so I could use probably another 1/4 of an inch at least on either end. And you cut it in half. I don't know. I might just go and buy 2 hoses from them, or since they screwed me around, maybe I'll even buy them from Cowabunga dudes. I don't know. It's probably the same thing. So yeah, we'll have to fix that because my nice big fat can of gas is sloshing all over the place unless you only have half a tank. Okay, well, thanks for wrenching with me, and sorry for the sabbatical, but I had some heavy thinking to do. Exactly what I was going to do. And my old buddy Leon was right. I think I better just use them. Alright. I'll see you next time around. Bye.